morning, good afternoon, depending on where and when you're watching this video. Welcome to the second session of the catch up series with us here on the at the Designery. Alright, so we're starting quite late today because network has been a challenge. But however, we are here and we have nice and good updates for you to so stay tuned and be with us. So if you don't already know, we started catch up last Wednesday, and catch up at Designery. It's an opportunity for us to talk about latest development with design, with tools, product trends, and also for us to connect with the design community and also share opinions, then also share learnings we have from work for the week. Right. So my name is Kutaj J. Joseph Kutaj Baba. That's my nickname. And also I have Raphael here, who's my co-host at the Designery podcast, also holding down this catch up session with me. So we have some gist for you. Raphael, you're going to go first. So yeah, what do you have for our audience today, Raphael?
I hope you guys first of all, I hope you guys can see me or hear
I
me.
can see you.
Okay, fantastic. Okay, I would like to go on a long rant about how Nigerian networks affect us as people who are working remotely. But yeah, I'm going to skip that for now. Today I'm going to be speaking about one thing I noticed today on Twitter was so I keep on calling it Twitter, but it's actually X. I don't know if any other
Yeah.
person has used it, but yeah. So on X, there's something that caught my eye, which is connecting MCP to Figma, right? I think it's quite interesting because and the guy who posted it I forget his name, but on YouTube you can find him on design course, right? So he has a channel called Design Course. I usually follow him. I saw it earlier on YouTube, but he posted on Twitter, X, sorry, and it was just really interesting. It's creating a lot of buzz because it's really interesting because now as a designer you can actually use prompts to actually design, and then also you can connect it to your Figma, right? You can connect the MCP server to Figma, and you type in prompts and you're actually building live. This is actually really great for us because now I feel like the bridge to between a designer and a developer has closed even. I mean, it was like this before. It's like way smaller than before. Um, it also got me questioning things, thinking in my head that what are roles going to be like moving forward, right? But before I even dive deeper, you can check on YouTube, check on design course. I'm gonna let me see if I can. Or I'll see if I can post a link to the video. It's a full demo of how you can connect an MCP server to Figma. So basically,
Are you going to
basically
share
what
your screen, Raphael? Are you sharing screen?
No, no, no. I'm not sharing screen, but I can. Let me see if I can share the link.
Okay, because you made mention of a demo.
Yeah, will people be able to even see the link? If I put it here, but let me just. I'm just gonna post it here. Let me put it in the chat. Um, okay. So you can like it's a full tutorial, so you can just check it out. But yeah, basically,
Okay.
sorry. Did you say something?
No, I said okay.
Yeah, but basically, it actually enables you to like connect like your if your developer is actually connect your Figma to your like now brings in Figma to the workflow, which means that now as a designer, you're allowed to actually do things way faster. Like you can actually apply those jumps. Now I know that we already have a lot of all these things like um, lovable and the rest, but the the flexibility that Figma gives us that okay when we've already done we've already prompted stuff and then you can now go in what actually makes this MCP server more intuitive for us designers because now when we prompted you don't always need to be 100% at first. Now you can go in and tweak things, right, of which is now updated on whatever coding tool that you're using, like for instance let's say Cursor. But yeah, I just thought it was really interesting. And I think was I saw was it design is it Ninja Tech guy, or I think it was a conversation between Layer. There was a conversation between Layer and mega tech guy where they talking about the bridge between designers are going to be building stuff is going to become a norm very soon. Just like how we had UI at first, and then there was UX, and then there was UI UX writers, and then we had UX researchers, and somehow we had UI UX, and now all those roles are joined together. I feel like the bridge between a developer and and a developer and a designer is gonna like be really tightly knit. At the very least, right? We are going to be looking at how designers can at least build fully functional prototypes, right? So that the engineers can actually pick it up from there. It doesn't have to be full ready code, right? I think that's something Mega Tech guy actually said as well. He said it makes sense that you should have fully functional prototypes so that you're closer to perfection, to the finished product, right? So even when the developer takes it up, there's less mistakes made. You know how it is now when you're going to design something and then it's static, right? And then you give it to the developer, some things might change as they build. But having the full context of what it looks like when it's fully functional actually helps. Like it actually improves, speed to development, less mistakes, and it also helps you even see things that actually make sense. But I actually experienced it recently that I use Figma Maker. That's a story for another day. But
But
yeah, that's what I wanted
do you
to share.
think so? If designers are able to explore with tools, I'm not really explored the MCP thing you're talking about. Then with tools like Cursor and the designers being able to build stuff. So for me personally, I think that being able to prompt vibe code for designers will just enable them. If you're a designer who have something you want to build, you can easily build an iterate or just test out your idea you have. That's on the personal level. But on a company level, right? Let's say you're working in a company, you have engineers, you have developers, and you have a design, and you're a designer in the company. Yeah. So how does vibe coding, from what you're saying now, from my perspective, before you jump in, vibe coding for me would just, let's say I want to do usability test, and typically I probably may want to use a tool like Maze, or maybe a tool like Userberry, or any other usability testing tool I have. I have to set up the tool, I have to do my plans and everything. But with vibe coding, I can basically, so instead of trying to do Figma prototype and use the web, do that spider web on Figma, I can build a functional stuff, right? With a vibe coding to say Figma make in this instance, and actually conduct usability test with that, right? Something that's actually working, that is mobile responsive. So I don't have to worry about designing whatever I want to test, making it mobile responsive. I can use Figma make or whatever vibe coding tool I want to use, and put that in the hands of people to test. But in terms of bridging the gap between engineering and design, I don't know. Can you speak more about that? Because that you kept mentioning bridging the gap between engineering and design. Like I want to see how would that vibe coding do that?
Let me. You mentioned something. You said you're gonna be you're gonna test, put it out in the hands of users. You're gonna test. Yes, that's one of it,
Your voice is
right?
a bit
That's
low.
part.
Maybe you can try speaking up so I don't know if people can
Can
hear
you hear
you.
me now? Can you hear me
Yeah, I
now?
can hear you, but your voice. Okay, yeah, I can. Let's go.
Okay. Okay. So yeah, I was trying to say that you mentioned something. You said you're gonna test with these tools. You're gonna test with the prototypes, right? That's fine and good. Of course, you're gonna test even internally. You're gonna be able to get stakeholder buying. I think quickly more faster if things already function, which means that speed time to going live is time to shape is going to be way shorter, right? Now, what happens when you've tested and everything, you iterated, you tested, you have the code there, you have everything because this is actually being coded, right? So
Okay, so let me interrupt you. The code that your vibe coding tool is going to
yeah,
write, maybe a different stack, a different framework, a different language from what your engineering team would use.
yeah,
So I
yeah.
don't
That's
think they would not copy your code, or I don't know. But except
no, it
maybe
doesn't have to
depending on the
copy
tool
your
you
code.
use, you tell it to write it using this framework, using this style, CSS, SCSS, right?
Yeah.
Fine, that I think that could work. I'm just curious to know like how you think that this can bridge the gap between. But anyways, so it's good to know that you are exploring MCP servers and also how designers can write code stuff. In just I think I'm going to piggyback on this. So for me personally, I have explored Figma Make, right? So I have this idea. So let me share this idea here, right? So when I think I've shared this idea with you. So I keep forgetting. I save links for jobs. I save links for articles I want to read later, and I forget them basically, right? So you basically need to either go to a to-do app to set a reminder, or you put it on Notion and you trust yourself. Like, okay, every day you look at the things you have to do and you go work on it. So I was thinking of a product, a mobile app or a web app that basically whenever I copy a link that I want to attend to later, it prompts me, it reminds me. Of course, there can be a number of features, but the idea is those important links that I save, maybe job applications, grant applications, articles I really need to read, I can set to read. So I don't have to go to a to do app, because a to do app can do a lot of things, right? So I try to build that with Figma Make, right? So let me share my screen to just show you guys what the outcome of that is briefly. So we can just, since Raphael has moved us in the direction of vibe coding, I have other things I want to share, but let me quickly share my screen and just talk about that. So I'm going to show you guys the prompt I used. Let me see. Okay, so my screen should be up in a few moments. Yeah. So my screen is up now. All right, so yeah, so if you can see my screen, so this is Figma Make interface for a mobile app, not a mobile app really, a web app I'm looking to build for UR. Basically, it's called the name that Figma Make called it, URL Reminder Web App. But the idea is to have a form of app that can save URL links you copy, right? Such that whenever it can remind you to act on them based on the dates you put. So you don't have to go do a separate to do app. It's just purely to remind you to take important actions on links you save. So I tried vibe coding this to Figma. Let me see if I can expand this. I'm not sure I can go beyond this with. Let me try. Okay, I can't go beyond this, but so this is the first prompt I used. So I told it I want to create a web app. I don't know if you can see this. I don't know. Let me see if I can zoom. I'm coming. Let me try to increase my view. Interface create, make larger. Okay, I think it's working. Make larger. Yeah. Okay, one more step. Make it a bit more larger. Yep. Okay, so yeah, I think this is quite. Rafa, you can read the prompts now. Yeah. You're muted.
Yeah, I can see them now. I can see them.
Okay. Yeah, so the prompt I gave Figma Make was I want to create a web app that users store URLs of articles, forms, job applications, and any activities that they can return to via a URL in order to remind them at their preferred time when they are ready to take action. Right. So the web app should detect whenever the user copies a web link URL and prompt the user to set a reminder via a widget. So I want the onboarding. So there's an app that does something like this, but not exactly the way I intend it to be. Right? It's called Pocket mobile app, but I think Pocket mobile app was owned by Mozilla. So Mozilla put the plug. They're no longer supporting the app. I think the app is going down sometime in August, sometime in this month. So it's no longer going to be available on Play Store and Apple Store, right? So, but I liked the way the Pocket app works, like the UI, the experience of it, right? So I wanted to maintain similar feel, and I liked the onboarding precisely. So I told Figma Make to use the screenshot. I gave it a screenshot of, you see the screenshot here. So I gave it a screenshot that you use that screenshot from the Pocket mobile app, right? And also to just use that to onboard users. So you see here, basically reasoning. So it tells me that it's reasoning. I don't know if I should try redoing this, but we don't have the time. But basically, it tells me that it's reasoning. So it give me a couple of prompts. Then give me a V1. Then it suggested this Superbase integration. So you know that Superbase has this partnership with Figma where you can integrate. If your product, right, requires backend service, you can connect your Figma Make app or whatever you build the Figma Make. You can connect it with Superbase, right? So it gave me that suggestion, but I'm not looking at involving Superbase in any form of what I want to do right now. So I just ignored that. So I kept tweaking and tweaking and tweaking and tweaking to get what I wanted. But the reason why I'm talking about Figma Make here is because I gave it some illustrations to use, but it didn't really turn out well. But the reason why I'm bringing this up. I know Raphael has taken us in this direction, but the reason why I started talking about Figma Make is this. So I know Figma Make is still in the very early stages of development. It's still in the beta phase now, but
Yeah, I want to ask you a question. Sorry,
okay.
before you go. Did you upload? Did you know you can upload like a design system? You can add a design system to
So
it.
yeah, I've experimented with that before. So when you upload a design system, I think it uses Tailwind. So
Yeah.
even if you upload a design system from the experiments I did, it still defaults to Tailwind's UI
Yeah,
and patterns.
exactly.
So that doesn't
Yeah,
work perfectly right now.
yeah.
That doesn't work perfectly right now. So I didn't really want to worry about connecting to a design system. I just wanted to be able to replicate the idea I had in mind. So I gave it the prompt and I did do a bit of tweaking. So it gave me this interesting UI that you see here, right? So it gave I prompted to give me light and dark mode. So it gives me the light, dark mode, miss deadline, never again. So I can click to save link. So everything here was based on what Figma Make generated for me, so I can impute link. But this is not even what I want to show you, right? So I want to try. So I'm going to. So this is currently live. It's published. So I'm going to click on play to go to the prototype. But before doing that, let me publish it. So I want us to view this on the web browser. So you see, I'm going to update. I didn't really make any change. Let me just copy the link. So I'm going to go to a web browser. Okay, so this is the link.
Mm-hmm.
Let me go to a web browser now. Let me go to uh, here. So I'm going to open this up now. So this is my URL site, and I'm okay. I think I'm still on Figma Make, right?
Yeah.
So you can't see my screen right now. Let me stop sharing. Is Raphael, what screen can you see? You can't see me go to a browser now, do you?
No, no, I'm seeing
Okay. So
Figma
let me
Make.
start. I'm going to present again
Okay.
entire screen. So let me know if you can see my screen now. So I should be sharing. Yeah.
Yeah, share now.
Yeah. So right now I've gone to a browser, okay,
Mm-hmm.
and you can see. So this is the app, but in this
Yeah.
case, so let me get rid of this. Get rid of this. So this is it, right? So I'm going to do that light mode so that it's bright for everybody to see. So now, the reason why I came here, so I want to test this out and I'll give my feedback on like if this implemented what I want correctly.
Mm-hmm. Fair.
Okay, so what I did is that if I copy a link, I wanted to bring a widget for me to be able for it to like say, okay, you copied a link from somewhere, and probably you
Yeah.
want to use this, you want to save this link to reminder data. So I'm going to go. Let me go to this site, shard CN, and I've copied this. So if I go back to the reminder, you see it has detected here that I copied the
Mm-hmm.
link, right? So
Yeah.
I'll click to save link and I'm able to save. So it asks me when I'm maybe tomorrow in 1 hour. So I'm going to put tomorrow and I'm going to save this. Now, personally, I really don't know. I think I did grid and yeah. So I did a list mode and a grid mode. So let me try saving another link. Let me go to FrameX. Design, copy this, come back here. So it detects that I've copied another link. So I click on save link. Uh, let's say let's do next week. And I save this. Okay. Let me do one more. Just one more. So copy more bin. More bin. I'm on the pricing page. Let me go back to text this. I click on this. Remind me tomorrow. Save. Now, so I have three. So looking at this UI,
Mm-hmm.
I'm not so pleased, satisfied with the way this thing currently looks, right?
Yeah.
So I'm going to go back to let me go back to Figma Make now. So let me go back to Figma. So this is Figma, right? So I have to manually add URL here because this one is the prototype version. Okay, I think this
Yeah.
is let me do it here. Let me do it here. Uh, so let me just paste links. Remind me tomorrow. Save is not saving. Okay, let me try again tomorrow. For some reason, the save link is not working. But anyways, let me just use this, right? So we can move on from this. Now the issue I have with this is I have to keep prompting and prompting if I want to tweak the UI. You get so
Uh, yeah.
let's say I want to this is so let's say I want to tweak this UI, right? This is, I don't know, this is looking like a prototype. It's not supposed to. Come, let me quickly check something. I want to be able to. Rafa, there seems to be a noise in your background. Like there's this noise. Back to make. I'm coming. Preview code. Preview. I'm coming. Yeah. It's. Wait. Let me see this. Okay. I've seen what I'm looking for, but now I have to adjust my laptop to be able to go there. Okay. Let me. I'm going to minimize this screen. So I want to pick something. How will I do this now? How will I do this? Let me bring this out. Okay. So this is here. Shit, man. Shit. Okay. Yeah. So I need to let me take Obsidian to the background. Yeah. So yeah, you can still see my screen good. Yeah. So this is it. If I want to tweak the UI of this, we're spending so much time here. I'm so sorry. But let me just do this. So if I want to tweak the UI of this, I will have to click on this tool, right? Which is to point and edit. Now, when I point and edit, I can come to the UI and adjust what I want to. So let's say, personally, I was not impressed with this logo, so I wanted to adjust the logo, but let me look for something else to easily adjust. So let's say the spacing here is too much and I want to adjust the spacing. Probably I want to reduce the spacing between this icon and this section. So I have to select this. Now I have two options, right? So I have very limited options to what I can do. I can only adjust the colors, the spacing, and color, right? Then also I can edit text. But if I want to do more, I would have to type in a prompt. So what I discovered is that it takes longer. Like sometimes you just have to jump into the stuff and tweak it yourself. You get, so that time you're actually taking to write prompt. So let me see what I can do. Let me see. So let's say I want to work on this text. I can increase the size. Yes. I want to quickly look for something I can. Let me see. I'm coming. Let me check this. Corner radius. I want to look for. It would have been easy if I could see those cards, because what I really want to adjust is those cards on the actual when you save it, when you save stuff. But I can't see. I'm coming. Let me just quickly look for something. That okay. So to save us time, right? To save us time, so we don't dwell so much here. I know this tool is still in its very early stages, but for me, there are two drawbacks I've seen working with this. One is sometimes you need to have the same capability that you have with Figma, right? Here. So you see here, there are limited things you can do compared to when you are actually on Figma to this particular component, right? If I wish I could just show one of those cards, it would be easy for me to just highlight what I'm trying to point out. But there are certain capabilities that you have normally that you should be able to do, or you are able to do with Figma, but you're unable to do here because it's the options here are limited. One, then two, you have to write a prompt, and if you keep writing prompt, why don't you just go into Figma and just do the edit yourself? That's one. Then two, one other thing now is if I want to connect. So let's say I want to connect this link to another page. So let's say I have a number of pages. Let's say I have 5 pages of a design I've done, right? And I want to build a prototype with those 5 pages. You understand what I mean? So let's say I have a website. If the user clicks on this link, they should go here. If they click on this link, they should go here. Now, what with this, what that means is that I have to upload each and every of those page onto Figma Make. So I have to get them as screenshots. I have to upload them to Figma Make. Figma Make will build each of those page first. I'll make necessary adjustments. Then I've not explored connecting them, but that is going to be damn difficult because it has to build each and every page. But anyways, I spent so much time talking about this. My recommendation is it should be possible for me to design stuff on Figma, do a prototype. If you get what I mean, like I design a mobile app or onboarding flow or a website, I've done the connections of the screens, introduced the animations I want on Figma, and I just bring that prototype to Figma make and say, pick this prototype and build it to be a functional product. Do you get what I mean? So instead of me trying to bring each individual screen, upload them, Figma make tries to rebuild them, I can just do my stuff on Figma, and I know that when I bring that prototype link to Figma make is going to build the functional stuff that will actually live on the web, that will be responsive. I don't have to rely on the prototype. So yeah, that's my experience so far with Figma Make. That took a lot of time to talk about that, but maybe we'll explore more in subsequent sessions. But I just had to just piggyback on what Rafael talked about when it comes to vibe coding. So yeah, Rafael, do you have anything else you want to share? Because I have a couple of things to share also. So let me stop sharing so that we can talk about something else. You're muted. Alright.
Jesus, I keep on forgetting I'm muted. No, I don't have anything else to share. That was that was the main thing I wanted to share. There was a design I wanted to share, but I'm honestly scared that if I should share my screen. But it was actually really interesting. You know what? Let me send it to you
Okay.
because that design was
I'm
actually
looking for.
was because I'm seeing how people are trying are applying AI to our
Yeah,
everyday.
I think there's also one other thing I wanted to say about AI. So I recently worked on a graphic design because I do graphic. There's a community I volunteer for, right?
Yeah.
They are into sustainability, climate actions, and all. So
Okay.
I did a graphic design, and the project or the program manager did. So it generated a the brief was purely AI generated without any edits. So when I saw it, I knew, right? It was very obvious that this guy just used AI. So in my mind, I was like, so you use AI to generate. Sure, I will not use AI to generate design for you like this.
So
So
AI for AI.
I was like, I'm going to use AI to generate this design and just give you so that you enjoy. Like, let's AI prompts versus AI design. So I had to ask, did you use AI to generate this? But anyways, my rant on that is if you are it's good to use AI to generate briefs, use AI to generate so but this is to the idea for AI with AI is to make us more efficient, more effective. It doesn't replace it's not the idea is not to replace us, it's to make us more efficient and what would you save us time. Right. So if you're a PM out there, if you're a project manager, a program manager and you're generating stuff with AI, please do take out the time to review what you generate, make edits, show that you are actually human, you're
To
superior to
generate
the
things.
machine and
Have
because
you seen things where when stuff is generated, right? You now still see the sure. Here is a version of the
no, no. It's very easy
or
to know
the
what AI generates, right? You see the
or the
icons, you see the dashes and all. But anyway, so I didn't feel really good because I was like, you just use few minutes to generate this with AI. You expect me to spend hours to actually put in it, do a design. If I have to ask, why didn't you just use AI to generate the design yourself? But anyways, that's my rant for using AI to do work.
I feel
Then
like
also,
that's actually a very interesting topic to talk on because
yeah,
now people are because it's, so for instance an artist will tell you that somebody that comes and generates AI in 10 seconds AI image in 10 seconds, you know. But the truth is there are some AI artists that you see out there I cannot generate the prompts that they are using to generate like they do research, they do into stuff they to generate some of these arts. Right. Yes, are they stealing? Sure, sure. You can see they are. Are they? But I'm not saying that you're stealing, but I'm saying that they have to get reference, and everybody gets reference at some point,
okay.
right? So now the question now comes to: is it the amount of effort not equally what somebody that will build from scratch, right? Does it make it less of a valuable thing? Does it make it less valuable? Does it make it, you know,
So I think we'll leave that question. I think our audience can respond to that when they watch the video. If you're following live, you can leave your feedback. I think so. What you are saying is, if somebody uses AI to generate stuff, if it's of lesser value than when
yeah,
they actually put in the
that
work to do it
way
manually,
it
is
takes
that what you're
time.
asking?
Yeah, that's the question. Yeah.
Well, for me, I do not think so. Right? I think what's most important is focusing on the output or the outcome. Let's say that, right? So if what you use the AI to generate is able to deliver on the outcome, the results, what are we looking to achieve with this, right? beyond what we're
Yeah.
looking to achieve, what are the set standards that we expect? Let's say for UI, for instance, we expect probably we're looking for a landing page that has or is able to what they call do lead conversion, very high conversions with visitors. We're looking for a landing page that probably perfectly reflects what the brand is, use the brand elements, the colors, it resonates with the target user. If you are able to use an AI tool to pull that off, it saves you time. You can invest time into doing other more important stuff like research and working on other stuff. So I think for me the focus should not be on the output. Yeah, I think there's a difference between output and outcome. The difference is should not be on the focus should not be on the output, it should be on the outcome. The output is the work, right? But the outcome is what do we want to achieve with this work. So we want a landing page, yes. Why do we want a landing page? We want a landing page that's able to convert leads to paying customers, right?
Yeah.
With the AI generated design, AI generated a website, does it do
Yeah.
that conversion? Does it reflect
Exactly.
us as a brand? If it does that, for me, it's a pass mark, right? So for like I said, it's not meant to. It's just so as a designer, you even need to know how to use the tool to be able to generate that
Yeah. Exactly.
website that will give you the outcome you are looking for. So for me, it's a tool basic like we have other tools. So my take is nah, it's fine. I don't know. I have something I want to share. We are a bit over time, but I think we can do like 5, 7-ish minutes more because we started late because of
Yeah.
network. But I want to talk about
Wait, can you see my screen first? So
yeah, I can
I
see your
just.
screen. You're on Twitter.
Cool, cool, cool. Yeah, that's why let's quickly share this design.
Okay.
Right. I thought it was very interesting. The other
Okay.
bit I was reading about how AI is helping with a lot of our interaction design right now. That's something we'll probably get into it next week. But yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it's related to this is I think this is a concept for a rental for real estate websites, right? So whether you want to rent or buy, right? And you can see, I think the concept is you come in, right? So you put in the prompt. What you'll be instead of going around searching, right? Now you're just putting in what you want with a prompt, right? You can still go down and like still filter down some things, right? But at least you're typing out what you want. You can select the model. So the higher the model, the smarter it is, obviously. You can use voice command and then it's going to input. And then when you enter it, right, it gives you results. The ones that are closest to what you require. Just imagine that. That's actually a really interesting thing. And this was posted by
Wait,
Roland.
Raphael, go back a bit. So the first UI, are you saying this was AI generated?
Oh, it's not AI generated. He designed it. He definitely designed it. That's
So,
not.
okay,
No,
so
I'm not saying that.
what is the ask here? What are you saying? I'm
So
trying to.
no, I'm saying it's an interesting take that of how we currently if you want to search for you go to let's say what's the name of this renting this thing this thing um rent house.
Airbnb, I don't know, Trip Advisor and all.
Yeah, I was saying all this kind of stuff. No, and there's this thing that you go to in even on GG if you want to rent a house. Isn't yeah GG? I mean, there's
Okay,
this right? When you want
yeah.
to rent a house, right? You go there. You're not going to put a description like this, but because
Okay,
of
so what
the
you're
new
saying is instead of me, so instead of having to sort through the
exact,
list there of
just type what
apartments
you
and
want,
everything, I just put in a prompt of what I want.
yeah, and
Mm,
AI brings up.
okay, so I think basically I get the idea, right? I think what most platforms will just do probably is just to optimize their search. So they currently have a search bar, so they would optimize their search to be able to take in prompts, right,
Exactly.
and do this. But it's a nice concept. Yeah, it's a lovely one.
Yeah, I think it makes sense. I think it was really interesting.
Okay, so
Yeah,
let me just share
yeah,
one more thing. Then
yeah.
probably you can just share one more. Then we'll call it a wrap. So you guys, we uh yeah, so we had to postpone our last one of our. Is it one now? Yeah, we had to postpone our last episode for our podcast because of network issues. We had one of the circumstances we could not control, but we'll let you know when the next date is. Right. And one other announcement we have for you also is that yes, we are close to announcing or launching fully the whiteboard sessions where we're going to have live design sessions, and we're going to be starting with a brand identity design. So we're going to have a designer live who's going to craft an identity for a brand, right? Start working with a brief that was created. by clients. So you are going to watch that session live, and it's going to happen in multiple episodes. So you are carried along step by step. So look out for that on our pages on YouTube, on LinkedIn, or wherever you're following from. One more thing I want to share before we go, Raphael. Yeah, so is the need for designers to question everything, right? So like, don't just accept. I know we know this, we say this, but it's something that has been naturally, when as a designer, once you decide to become a designer, then automatically you should develop a natural level of curiosity. What that means is you should question everything. So the reason why I decided to talk about this was at work. um I can't share, but I can talk about it, right? So there's this interesting thing that happened. It wasn't me really, but I learned from it. So we were trying to solve a problem, right? And all the while we're focusing on using a table, right? So we're trying to avoid the table. So table typically has like the header, the rows, right? We wanted to display everything using columns to ensure that the items in the table does not scroll, right? If that happens, we're going to now have to probably look for a way to make one of the columns fixed, and also hide some other elements or some important information behind the scroll bar, the sides of the screen that the user cannot see. So that was a very typical problem. A number of iterations happened, and but and still we're unable to solve the problem, right? So I discovered that somebody just asked the question, and that question changed everything. And the question was, why table? Right? So we have been used to displaying data with table. So it was a dashboard. We had table, so that was the format we've been using to actually work on the product.
Yeah.
And somebody was like, why table?
Hmm.
So that just changed the whole conversation entirely, right? Eventually, the solution was an accordion. So we showed the most important information. So basically, like an accordion where you would see like question answer. So just when you see the question with the button to drop down to see the answers to the question, the most important information were shown typically the way you show the question. Then if you want to see more information that are supposed to be in that row of the table, you click on the drop down and you see that information. So that basically solved the problem of not having to scroll, right? And also having everything on one page and showing users the most important information that they need to see. So that basically re-emphasized for me again the need to, even though it's a pattern that has been accepted and you guys are working with it over the years, if in the context of the problem you are trying to solve, that pattern is unable to provide the solution you are looking for, you can question, as not as you can question facts like, yes, I know I've been doing it this way, but right now this pattern, this method is not giving us the outcome we're looking for, right? So I'm just using it to like let designers out there, remind myself again to always not be shy of questioning. Yes, this is how I've been doing it. We're always using a card, we're always using an accordion, we're always using a modal for this instance. But if there's an instance for where you think you can do something else, please raise it and question it, right? So yeah, that's what I wanted to share. Then before Rafa, sorry, before you jump in, we don't have the time for it, but I learned that Netflix has done a redesign of their homepage, right? So when you log into Netflix, the UI is a bit different now. We don't have the time to talk about it, but in the next catch up series, that's next week Wednesday, I'm going to drop my 2 cents, right, on if for me it's a fail or a success and why it is. But personally, one of the issues I've had with Netflix is that when I log in, I have too many options. Like I don't know what movie to watch. So if I don't already have a movie that somebody said, okay, I recommend this movie for you to go watch on Netflix, I'll just scroll and scroll and scroll. Okay, 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 okay. You know what? I'm not doing this. I just leave the app or I just leave it Netflix. So that's one issue I've been having with it. I hope with this new UI they solve the problem. But anyways, look out for my 2 cents on that bit next week, Wednesday by 8 p.m. Raphael, anything for our audience before we go?
No, I think we're good. Luckily, the network did not throw me out of the house, so I'm still good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's engage. I think maybe next time we're going to focus a bit more on like actually. I like that we are sharing our thoughts about design and stuff. So about some of this design and stuff. So
All right,
yeah,
so we
you
are
I'm
10
looking forward to
minutes. You said?
your critique on you as the even I'm looking forward to the critique on Netflix. Let's see.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. I
interesting.
have lots of stuff to share, but we have so limited time. But that's why it's a weekly catch up so that we can always have something to share from our learnings.
Yeah,
And also, we look forward to having more engaging sessions when you leave comments, when you can ask questions live, and we'll just vibe and hang out together here. But for today,
yeah.
that's a wrap. All right, so look forward to our messages and updates on our social media platforms. But for now, see you guys next week, Wednesday. Peace out.